Have you slime in the back? Bye, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hey, Lagnado, Kiddushin Anila. Mal. Yep. So
she's initiating again.
Let's go back, right? She's initiating.
This one has no. The new one is better
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
They say we were there, you borrowed 50. 100. No, yes. You say I owe 0.
Bye, Rabbi.
They say Alan owes
Rabbi asked the question. Hey, Lagnado, take this money, ve'ekadesh anilach, and I'll be married to you. Lecha.
She's told.
Right? Mahu. What is the din?
She's saying it.
They go up to the chuppah, modern Orthodox. She goes to him. Ariad mekudeshet. Or she tells him, take the ring and I'll be mekudesh lecha. And probably says,
You're saying that it's not by giving she has a British shame, so she's
That's
letting
it.
him.
That's what it
Listens to her. But he starts to say it also.
yes, say, no matter what, you saw the beginning of it. Right. So, boy, Rabbi asked the question, Helech, mana v'akadesh anilach. Mahu. Omar Mar Zutra. Mishmei de papa. Mekudeshet. They'll say under the chuppah, she is married. Omar Leila Vashi. The Mar Zutra, im ken, havalei nechasim sheyesh la machayit, niknin im nechasim she'en la machayit. Comes Mar Zutra and has a problem. Now, we have a case as follows. If I buy a piece of land and there is patio furniture on the land, I buy a house and in the house it's completely furnished. By acquiring the house, I can acquire the furniture.
Could, but not always.
Oh, it's not, meeting of the minds, I could. But comes Mazutra and says, the kinyan made on the land is what is sufficient for both.
All the stuff inside.
But let's say I go and I acquire the couch. And I say, with the acquiring of the couch, I'll buy the land. That's no good. So come Mazutra and says, Ishmael the Papa, the Kudeshet. Amalei Ravashi. Ravashi says, I have a problem with that. Again, what's the case?
Rabbi, could you review for Joe? He's going to review.
She's in this one.
Let's go back for Joe.
You didn't have the phone in the same.
She goes on and says, I will, what? I will give you a ring and you'll be married to him.
Or no.
She says,
Right?
take this ring and marry me.
I do owe $50.
Daf Aleph.
Mazutra and Rav Papa says Mekudeshet.
She gets benefits.
Is stronger, and in that case, you pay $50. Maybe then you don't pay $50. His admission is not stronger than you.
Read the case in English.
782.
Oh, bye.
We're not making you pay any more.
So Yosef, you hear the case? The other Yosef says it's blasphemy. What? This is an Orthodox wedding? She gives the ring. And what does Ma'azul Tra say? Ma'azul Tra brings a technical reason it's not good. Joe would say it is not good. What? Because fundamentally it's no good. Comes Ma'azul Tra and says a side reason. What does he say? אומר לרבשי למרזוטרה אם כן, אבל נכסים שיש למאחראי נכסים עם נכסים שאין להם אחריות. Comes Ravashi and throws a curve. He says as follows. He doesn't go to the fundamental distinction, which Joe says we should say. He goes to the side issue. What's the side issue? When I have land and I'm making a kinyan on the land, and there's meeting in the minds, there's also a kinyan on the metaltalin. I buy a house, and the house is all furnished. I can do what? I can acquire the house and all the furnishing with one kinyan. A kinyan on the land. Now, what about buying the land through a kinyan on the couch? On the couch, which I'm buying. So comes Ma'azul Mishmei Papa. מקודשת. אומר לרבשי, no! ומרזול תרה, אם כן, הבה להם נכסים שיש להם אחריות. נקנין עם נכסים שאין להם אחריות. By him making a kinyan on the kesef, how could she follow? Because his kinyan on the kesef becomes the kinyan which acquires the woman.
So she's the real property.
Right?
And she gave him the money, that's it. The ring. He purchased the ring. He purchased her with it.
Right.
How can you say that? We already know that. So that's two strikes.
Why did they go to the fundamental difference? The Anan, Ifcha Tanan. And we learn just the opposite. What did we learn? Nechasim she'en lahem achrayut. Property, chattel, is acquired through land. Nechasim she'en lahem achrayut, chattel, niknim im nechasim she'esh lahem achrayut, is acquired through real property. With either bekesef, b'shtar, or b'chazakah. Omale. What? Right? Omale mispat. Who gave you this idea? You are way off. The Omale agav. It's not the concept of agav. When Ma'azul Tara and Papa says she's mekudeshet. Nothing to do with agav. It's not because he acquired the ring. What is the Kiddushin? Amalei mispat amalei agav. Hacha ba'adam chashuv askina. What is the discussion talking about? As we mentioned yesterday, this is a case of Adam Chashuv. Oh, so what is Adam Chashuv? Who's making the kinyan?
He's giving to her by a receipt.
So the act of him giving is the Kiddushin. How is he giving?
satisfaction that he received.
by taking. Agav Adam Chashuv Askina.
She receives the shahada. He receives that. Like in her face, he accepted her gift.
Like we said yesterday.
She's the grandma, he's taking the sambusa. That's what it is.
Right.
And he doesn't even want it.
Freedom away. He's too bad how would you giving?
Mr. Gindi, nothing to do with anything. Mr. Gindi, we want to make a kinyan to take a wife, right? The kinyan has to be through what? Through giving to the woman something. When the woman gives something to the man, that's not good Kiddushin. Fundamentally flawed. Comes Reb Mazutra, comes Rav Papa, says it's not fundamentally flawed. Why? Why, Joe?
Why does it hold when the woman gives something to the man?
Because he's chashuv.
Because the hana'ah that she receives.
Will someone finally listen to her?
Right.
That's all this means.
So now what? How do we define chashuv? What is he called?
I don't know. When Gadol, Melech Yisrael.
Not a regular guy.
Not a regular guy. Right. Mr. Gindi, again, a person who doesn't accept gifts normally. That's Adam Chashuv in our case. That's all you have to know. That he's not, and especially from women.
So would that be a judge also?
Maybe judge. Right? Okay, our courts are filled with good judges.
It's unbelievable. So a woman can always blind the eyes of her husband. Gender.
ובחזקה עמלה מצוות אמרת לאגב הכה באדם חשוב. Here we're talking about an important person who does not accept gifts from people. Askinan, like maybe he was a Buddhist priest. They don't take any gifts. The Baha'i הנאה דקה מקבל מתנה מיני גמרא ומקנה לה. From that hana'ah which she accepts, he accepts that is maknele. That's it.
We don't stretch it. Because really every woman accepts it. And every woman would accept hana'ah from any man if we accepted her. Yeah. We can't be sure. But she gets to
There has to be a hana'ah. There has to be a hana'ah. That this man, you go to a bar mitzvah. The bar mitzvah boy takes a gift from everybody. Correct? You go to the prince's bar mitzvah. He's not taking a gift from anybody. He's not taking trinkets. He's not taking sfarim. He has a whole library in the palace. Oh, but now this young woman, his Valentine, comes and gives him a Valentine. Oh, he takes it and he kisses her hand. Thank you so much. That is what? That is a tremendous hana'ah. He only accepts a gift from me.
That's the nice.
And I will tell you, this happened to me in first grade. I was in public school. I was looking over my pictures. I met my aunt on Sunday night in Muncie. She gave me a group of pictures from when I was young. I was in public school, first grade. And I had a little girl who I liked very much. And it was February 14th. And on February 14th, what do you do? I remember we all made big hearts, red hearts, and it was like an envelope, big envelope, about this big, and everybody puts their what? Their Valentine. No, you go and you give Valentine to whoever you want. That was the whole sketch. So, okay, you give Valentine. You only give to your friends. So come.
Why were you in public school?
There was no yeshiva yet. They built the yeshiva when I was in second grade. San Diego. Where do you think I came from? San Ysidro, Tijuana. So now I go to this girl does not accept. This girl did not accept any Valentine. The only boy Valentine she accepted was mine.
How old was she?
She was 6.
6. Oh, same grade. I thought she was
No, 6th grade. So she was a tough cookie. Maybe that's why I liked her. But back to our card, so she didn't accept from anybody else. So my acceptance, the one she got from me, meant something special. I received, right? So that is the same thing the Gemara is saying. When a person is not accepting gifts, he writes on his door, instead of writing about Yerushalayim, what do I write on the door? Soneh matanat tichyeh. Don't bring me gifts. But a nice girl brings me a gift. Now that I accept it, she could say Hariyat Mekudeshin. I could say Hariyat Mekudeshin. Yeah, I could say. She gave it to me and I say it.
She received and she gave
Right. So that is Marzutra and that's Papa. That's halakha.
That's the proof. The proof of the witnesses.
Let's go back. Hacha be'adam chashuv askinan. The Bahai hana. With that hana, the ka mekabel matana mineh. With that hana which he received the gift. Kamra umakne le nafsha. She went and she did what? She gave herself up to him.
But you have to swear. Yes?
Idmar. We have also learned this case of Evid, this case of Arev, this case of Evid and Arev. Nami mishmed rava v'ken inyan memona. It also works for what? For regular transactions. Comes the Quran says. Of course, we know Isha from where? From a regular transaction. So once I know for Isha, I know for regular. Once I know for regular, I know for Isha. What do you give me such a chidush? וצריכה היא השמעינן קידושין משום דהאיתה ניחא להם בכל זאת. If it comes to Kiddushin, we could use the peripheral concept of money. For what? For Kiddushin. Why? Because the woman will get married, wants to get married. Mishum da'idatan, nichale b'chol du k'Reish Lakish. Like Lakish says, T'omar Reish Lakish, tav le'metav tandu. A woman wants to be married. Is that true in every case?
Every case.
No.
Comes Abraham says no.
No case.
I'm going to tell you the case. That's the case. No, not she. He's a little off.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll tell you a case. I'll tell you a case. I went to a wedding. Baruch Hashem, I was not beside the Kiddushin. And all of a sudden, went to the Sheva Brachot. There was a restaurant here, Moishi Sushi. I don't know what it was called. Moishi. On Coney Island. We had the Sheva Brachot there. Going back over the boys being bar mitzvah now, over 14 years ago, 15 years ago. I go, and everybody's happy, everybody's singing. The girl looks at me and I see something's wrong. She says, Rabbi, can I speak to you? I said, yes, talk. He says, can we go outside? I said, it's not normal outside. I said, I have to go outside. Okay, we go outside. We walk around the block. Walk on Coney Island, East 12th Street. Go around. She tells me, Rabbi, I have a problem, a big problem. What's the problem? My husband, Mr. Gindi, Sheva Brachot. What do you think of Sheva Brachot? You think they get married after Sheva Brachot? They make getting married. Now what takes place? She tells me, Rabbi, I have a problem. We haven't consummated the wedding. So I told her, don't worry about it. I know somebody 6 months didn't consummate the wedding. Now that person has 4 beautiful children, 4 boys. So you know what happens when how you have a boy. The Gemara goes and says, Isha mazriyat techila. That means he's pleasuring the woman properly. So it took 6 months for him to learn, right? It took him 6 months to learn, but he did. He learned. Unbelievable. He said, "Don't worry." He says, "Rabbi, it's not like you think. He doesn't try. I came out of the shower. He wanted to play Monopoly."
And he didn't pass go.
The next time he says, "We'll wait. Let's play Scrabble tonight." I told him maybe he's nervous. He tells me he's not nervous. I tried everything. The past 4 nights, everything, nothing's working. I said, "What do you think it is?" He said, "I'm going to leave it to your imagination."
That gives you credibility.
Next week.
No, that was a different one.
What happened? We go to Bedin 2 weeks later. I ask him, "Are you attracted to your wife?" He says, "I love my wife. I'm very attracted to her. She's my best friend." Are you going to consummate the wedding? So I can't consummate the wedding. It's not. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So why you won't marry her? Because she's my friend. I love her. I tell her, but she wants a husband to satisfy her. Maybe I'll satisfy her another way. I told her she doesn't want another way. He said, "I just can't." Yeah, I told him, you have to give a divorce. We're sitting in Bedin, not giving a divorce. The parents of the boy said, We're not forcing our son to give a divorce. He loves her. We're sitting there, myself, a man, Rabbi Cantor, and another, three Dayanim. One Dayan tells us, I'm going to go back to speak to the parents. Halacha or not halacha, you just don't say a word. When I talk, let me speak. You don't agree with me? No, we're not doing it yet. Just let's talk. Okay. Rabbi Cantor goes, and he says, let me ask you a question. You're not planning to consummate? He says, no, I can't consummate. He says, you know what? This wedding is null and void from here and now. Null and void.
Never started.
Ever. He says, what do you mean? We had the Kiddushin, we had the Chuppah. She had in mind to marry a man, not half a man. We can make Mekach Ta'ud here and there. He yelled, I learned Kiddushin! Tandu Reish Lakish! He says, Tandu doesn't work in this case.
Doesn't not shine here.
Now, we stayed quiet. After he made his speech, we took him outside. He says, we're not nullifying any wedding. We just want to show the people how much they are in the wrong. Who broke first? The father broke first of the groom. He tells the son, the rabbi's right. There's no wedding here. If you can't consummate, well, at least now you have the crack. by 2 hours finished. The mother said, if the wedding's consummated, can you imagine if rumors are going to go out that she left without a get? It's going to be worse for our son. He says, okay, I agree. If she wears a wig after the divorce, because the divorced woman wears a wig, so people won't say what. The girl says, I agree. They forced the son. Now, the question was, how did the parents who knew let this happen?
Go on.
The parents, I know the parents. Yeah, the parents are tzaddikim, are good people. They're good people. They're fine people. That's the whole story, Yosef. They do not go with girls. It's disgusting. Would you go well with a man? It's disgusting that they can't do it. They have to go to therapy. Oh, the parents had they sent their kid a year and a half to therapy before he started going out. And the therapist gave him the okay. He's going to do it. If he has the right girl, he'll do it. He wasn't able to do it. Didn't have the right girl.
Should have found somebody that looks like your guy.
He loved her, but only as a friend. A year and a half later, she got married. The girl got married right away. She has 4 children. She's everything's good. Her oldest is going to get bar mitzvah in Parshat Nachum. Now he goes back to therapy. At the end of therapy, a year later, he gets engaged. The girl and her parents called me. We know that the girl is they're going to call us up. What are we going to tell them? We spent an hour on the phone. What you could tell the new girl. The new girl never called up. And they had a baby, they had a child. But a year after the child was born, the girl comes to Beit Din. I was not in that Beit Din. And it was not a repeat exactly. It was a semi-repeat. He was willing, she said, to be with me once a month. The day after mikveh, I'm ready. The same way you worked yourself up after mikveh, I do the same thing. But after that, he had a baby, Baruch Hashem. But she asked for a divorce. I can't live with him. He won't touch me. He gives me a peck on the forehead. And he hugs me.
He trained himself.
Okay. Got divorced. Second time.
Are you born with the rabbi, or how does?
We're not going there today. We're just explaining in Gemara. Tandu. Does Tandu work in every case? No, Tandu is not a black, right? There has to be certain cases. It doesn't work.
Woman wants to be married to a man.
Right?
That's obvious. Say that.
Right? What?
All the therapy, trying to find out what made him like that.
Right?
It's called conversion therapy.
Right, the conversion therapy. And a conversion therapy.
They try to outlaw it though.
Yeah, why?
They say it doesn't work, whatever.
It works a little bit. You see, it works a little bit. I don't know how much you could get it doing. Right now, he's not married. He wants to get married, but
Wants to get married?
he wants to.
He's improving.
And you look at the guy. He's a star. He has a band. He does weddings in religious communities. He's like Mick Jagger on the stage. It's unbelievable.
But Rock Hudson was a big movie star also.
Right?
A lot of those.
You have a lot of those. Okay, can we go back? Itma itza. Nichala b'choldu. Kidreish Lakish. Like Reish Lakish to Amar Reish Lakish. Tav lemetav tandu. That's where I'm bringing from. That took us to the Milad Metir, my Lord, that's sitting alone. And you tell this girl, she'll tell you, no, I'd rather sit alone. Right? Tandu, we sit two. In Latin, do is what, Mr. Gindi? Two. Sitting two rather than sit alone. Aval Mimona. But when it comes to again, let's go back to the question because we forgot the question. The Gemara says these rules of Eved, of Arev, also work when it comes to Kinyan Mamon, regular buying. The Gemara says certainly it works. It says no, it doesn't really. Because when it comes to Kiddushin, we could use the peripheral of Kesef. Why? Because there's a concept of meeting of the minds Tandu. But when it comes to regular Kinyan, maybe it doesn't work. So the Gemara says, so that's it, why we have to write Isha. But what if it just wrote Mamon? If you just told me by Mamon, I would know by Isha also. The Gemara says, Amaro Emolo. V'i Ashma'ina, you see where I am? V'i Ashma'ina Memona. If you told me these laws by Mamon, Mishum D'Yityaher L'Mechila. When it comes to buying, what can you do? You could forgive the payment. Kiddushin you can't forgive. There always has to be an app. So you say, oh, maybe Kiddushin is different than regular Kiddushin. Because here you have to have money.
What do you mean forgive? What do you mean forgive?
I sell you a piece of land.
Yeah.
$1.5 million.
Yeah.
Abraham, I like you. I like you and your Remington.
Yeah.
I tell you, you don't have to pay.
Maybe I'm paying full.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Is the Kinyan good still? We make the Kinyan Chabilin.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. By Isha, like in Kiddushin, she can't do. If she has to have. She has to have the ring.
that.
You have to have a ring.
Really?
Whatever it is.
That's Shova Frita she has to have.
אבל my Lord. ויש מעינו רמונה משום דהתייהב למתחילה. אבל קידושין my Lord. Therefore you need what? The law verified in both stands. In the stance of wedding and in the stance of Mamon. New Gemara. Oh, we have a beautiful talk. This is a very interesting Gemara.
That's why you have to say Mamon now.
Right.
Come back to your story now.
Ay, my boy, the story.
I was born that way. People want.
Let them claim it's true.
I was born that way.
It's true.
Everyone's born when he has
You have tendencies. You have this.
Tendencies.
But you have to build though. So the common law is not a test.
That's what we just said here. That you have, what is it called? He gave us national health organizations around the world have uniformly denounced and criticized. They state that there has been no scientific demonstration of conversion therapy efficiency.
What do you mean conversion therapy?
Just what you're talking about right now.
They try what you're saying. They try a person who thinks he has
I learned it in animals.
Okay, because Mr. Gindi wants to discuss the topic. We're going to tell you. We're going to tell you.
Did you say there's an animal that likes its own sex?
You just want to claim I have no free will.
Mr. Gindi! We're not going on psychological and philosophical, we'll tell you. When about 30 years ago, when I first, Joe,
Yeah, that means you'll never convict the killer. Never convict the killer.
Nobody has
What do you
proof
mean? He
of
was
genetics.
created like that. It's genetic. What do you mean?
Nobody
He
has
doesn't have empathy.
Mr. Even if you agree that a killer was born that way, a psychopath, it doesn't mean you can't kill him. There's two reasons why punishments are needed. One to rehabilitate, and one to protect society. So even if you have a psychopath, you have what's his name? The guy in Manson, psychopath. You have to kill him. Why? Oh, he was born that way. His brain was wired otherwise. We can't have such a person in society. So even if you're going to agree that it's more, but if you have a guy who is gay, maybe you don't have to kill him. He's not causing danger. But that's not my business. But just about the conversion therapy and Mr. Gindy's point. When I first came to the community 40 years ago, I had a bunch of friends, and they told me, "Come, they're new rabbis. We have a person who invited us who was in Muncie, I remember. We invited to a forum on what do we do with gay practitioners in our minyanim. 40 years.
Okay, what?
Gay people in minyanim.
In the minyan. Do you count them? Do you not count them?
Okay. So we had a whole discussion, panels, also, I never went back to any of their panels. It was all hecky bala. Okay, but it was interesting for me. It was interesting. They had a video. The videos in those days, they didn't have it on your phone. They had it on the wall like a mover. Super 8, beautiful on the wall. They had the big projector in the back. Okay, we're watching. They had about 8 Orthodox gay people. Some showed their face, some didn't want to show their face. Talking to them. Each one has a story. Each one is different. Be it he's a Chassid, Sephardi, all kinds. All talking, telling their problems, how the community ostracized them, they want to be good Jew. All story. The last person was a very interesting person. He was a gay man. He had 8 children. He went, and they didn't want to say who he was. They did not show his face. His wife didn't show her face either. He got married, and prior to the wedding, he told his wife he's not attracted to women. But she knew. But he loved her dearly as a friend. And he knows that she would want a family, and he also wants a family. He will do. Listen, I told you he had 8 kids. Not bisexual. Mr. Gindley, why do you say terms? You can't go both ways. Listen to the story. He says, because of his deep love for his wife, he forced himself.
He took one for the team.
And she said, 8. She says, we made a deal once a month.
Like this guy, but she was good.
But she was good with it. He married the right woman. 8 children, religious man.
Why is he coming forward?
He's coming forward with that. Even though a person has tendencies of being gay, he could do what? His wife says, I know my husband is the biggest tzaddik. Because even though he may have intuitions to go with other men, he is a pure person.
He sacrifices for her.
Right?
Well, he's saying he didn't act on
And the
it.
children.
Huh?
That's a nice way of looking at it.
He never acted.
He says he's gay. He never
Never
had a
acted,
relationship
right.
with that. He never acted on it. That's a big difference. See? Everyone.
This guy also, the first guy I told you, never acted on it either.
Oh, okay.
But he got divorced because he couldn't concentrate.
The last guy was different. The fellow that couldn't have kind of stomach even to go anywhere. This guy was able to go.
No.
No, he went the second time.
It could be the same
Same guy
person.
went the second time.
The thing is, the person loved his wife so much that he had to do what?
Convince himself.
He had to sacrifice. He had to force himself. So he had to close his eyes. Right.
What did the panel conclude
That
about
actually could prove it, by the way.
Aliyot?
So the panel concluded. The basic group idea was like Clinton. You know what Clinton said? What? We're not asking. Not well, Mr.
Whatever. Shachar.
My boy.
That was Clinton. That's
Clinton, but that's not the point I meant. That's not the point I meant.
How do you define
That's
is?
not that point. The point I meant was what? He said, the army If you don't tell us, we don't care.
Don't ask, don't tell.
We're not going to ask you.
These cases a lot. He had a guy in his car that was effeminate. He had somebody who play with punch bowl with the girls, and he was a feminine guy. And he was able to overcome whatever, and he marched down the aisle, and he had children. Despite his effeminate tendencies, he did it anyway.
Yeah, but I think you're talking about the exceptions.
Those are exceptions.
No, they have to work.
You have to have a.
I know someone
So look, the way I look at it is take a regular heterosexual male, 20 years old, tell him don't touch the females. How difficult is that for him? Almost impossible.
How about the cell phone?
Huh? Cell phone, right?
Have a good
That's
day.
what you're asking.
Putting it in their pocket.